Coronation Street recruits former Hollyoaks actor for intense Todd and Theo plot as he teases "Catch Me on the Cobbles." A former Hollyoaks actor has hinted at his new role on Coronation Street, telling fans to catch me on the cobbles as he joins a gripping storyline. Fans of the ITV soap are aware that Todd Grimshaw is unknowingly trapped in a controlling and manipulative relationship with his partner Theo Silverton. Their romance has faced several hurdles, and after audience concerns about Theo, his controlling behavior has become more obvious. He was seen attempting to isolate Todd from his close friends, Billy Mayhew and Sarah Platt, before the abuse turned physical, pinning Todd against the kitchen sink and force-feeding him a kebab. Although Todd tried to move past the incident and even moved into Dee Dee Bailey's former flat with Theo, Theo's darker tendencies have not disappeared. In forthcoming episodes, viewers will witness Todd reach a breaking point due to Theo's psychological games. Concerned about his medical results, Todd confides in George Shuttleworth, admitting he's begun making arrangements for his own funeral. Following Christina Boyd's suggestion, George reviews Todd's emails and discovers a hospital appointment. Christina encourages George to accompany Todd and offer support. Meanwhile, in the Bistro, Gary Windass and Theo meet with Pete to discuss a potential business deal. Noticing Billy Mayhew and Summer Spellman, Theo approaches them, expressing concern for Todd and hinting that Todd may be hiding something, making Billy uneasy. At the hospital, Todd is relieved to have George's company as he waits for his doctor's consultation. When Billy receives a call from Todd, he steps outside to take it, while Theo conceals his anger and orders drinks at a nearby table. The next day, dealing with a hangover, Todd returns home to face Theo's fury. Apologizing for staying the night at Billy's, he insists nothing happened, only to be surprised when Pete emerges from the bathroom. Theo shows no remorse, accusing Todd of deceiving him, but when Todd reveals his health scare, Theo manipulates the situation, pushing Todd over the edge. Todd ultimately snaps and tells Theo to leave. The character of Pete is portrayed by former Hollyoaks star Andrew Hayden Smith, who previously played the villainous police officer Gavin Armstrong in the Channel 4 soap from 2016 to 2017. He is also known for appearances in Biker Grove, Doctor Who, Cucumber, and Banana. Confirming his upcoming role on Instagram, Andrew shared a photo outside the Rover's return, writing, "Off to Weatherfield, BRB. Catch me on the cobbles as Pete Lang soon." ITV Coronation Street spoilers. Todd and Theo's heated clash, Betsy's arrest, and major shakeups ahead. Next week on Coronation Street, emotions are about to reach boiling point as long-running tensions and hidden secrets finally explode. Todd and Theo's volatile relationship teeters on the edge of collapse. Betsy faces the biggest mistake of her young life, and a series of shocking twists promise to shake Weatherfield to its core. The week begins with Todd quietly panicking over his recent medical test results. Convinced that something is seriously wrong, he begins to prepare for the worst. Confiding in George, he admits he's been making arrangements for his own funeral, a revelation that leaves George heartbroken. When George checks Todd's emails, he discovers a message from the hospital confirming an appointment. Worried sick, George follows Christina's advice and insists on accompanying Todd for support, determined not to let his friend face whatever lies ahead on his own. At the same time, Theo's insecurities begin to spiral out of control. While meeting Gary and Peter at the Bistro to discuss a potential business deal, he becomes distracted when he spots Billy and Summer nearby. Concerned about Todd's secretive behavior, Theo joins them and admits he fears Todd is hiding something. Billy's nervous reaction only fuels Theo's paranoia, pushing him closer to breaking point. At the hospital, Todd is grateful for George's comforting presence as he prepares to face the doctor. Meanwhile, Billy sneaks outside to take a call from Todd, unaware that Theo is watching from a distance, burning with jealousy. Unable to contain his anger, Theo orders another round of drinks, masking his rage behind a forced smile. Elsewhere, Abi sends Kevin a message asking if he'd like to spend some time with Alfie. But when he arrives, she notices his fragile emotional state and changes her mind, saying it's best to wait for another day. Heartbroken, Kevin walks away and breaks down in tears on the street, struggling to keep himself together. Back at home, Tim assures Sally that his short-lived connection with Trisha is over for good, while Carla informs Lisa that she's finally sold the Rover's Return to a mysterious buyer named Ben. However, when Carla expresses doubts about her upcoming trip to Ireland, admitting she feels uneasy about leaving Lisa alone with Becky, Lisa grows defensive. She insists that she's deeply in love with Carla and that Becky no longer holds any power over her. The following day, Todd returns home hungover and anxious. Theo immediately confronts him, furious that he spent the night at Billy's. Todd insists nothing inappropriate happened, but the situation spirals when Pete suddenly emerges from the bathroom, leaving Theo stunned. Convinced that Todd has been lying to him, Theo lashes out, accusing him of cheating. Finally, Todd snaps. He admits he's been hiding his health fears and, in a moment of frustration, orders Theo to pack his things and leave. Later at the Rover's Return, Glenda hosts a lively Mr. and Mrs. contest to lighten the mood. Theo shows up, hoping for a chance to reconcile, but Todd refuses to talk. As Theo takes a seat nearby, Todd snatches Glenda's clipboard, clearly forming a new plan, one that could turn the tables on Theo once and for all. Meanwhile, Betsy convinces Becky to model a few of her latest clothing designs for her college project. The lighthearted moment turns chaotic when Lisa joins in, laughing as Becky struts around the living room. Amused, Betsy records the scene on her phone and uploads it to social media, unaware of the danger she's creating. Becky is horrified, realizing her video could expose her identity and undo all the effort she's made to stay hidden. Before long, disaster strikes. Kit returns home with devastating news. Betsy has been arrested. At the police station, the frightened teenager sits alone in a cold cell, confused and exhausted. Lisa blames Becky, furious that her return has turned their lives upside down. When questioned, Betsy is told she's accused of damaging a police car, resisting arrest, and even attacking D.I. Costello. Refusing to speak, she's left terrified about what might happen next. Later, Costello corners Becky and threatens her to vanish from Weatherfield once again, or Betsy will pay the price. At the salon, Audrey gives Bethany a fresh start by offering her a part-time job doing nails. When Shona learns that David is trapped in a lift and can't make it to an important hospital scan, Bethany quickly steps up to help. Soon after, she's assigned to mentor Hope, who's doing work experience. When a client boasts about miracle pills that claim to boost hair, nails, and weight loss, Hope becomes fascinated. Bethany sternly warns her not to be fooled, explaining how these companies exploit people's insecurities. But things take a dark turn when the client later discovers her pills are missing. Bethany accuses Hope of stealing them, and a heated confrontation ends in disaster when Bethany's stoma suddenly ruptures. Elsewhere, Cassie helps Tyrone with his rehabilitation exercises, but rushes off when she receives a text from Steve, eager to avoid further emotional tension. Back at the Barlows, Tracy explodes in fury after discovering Ken's vintage wedding wine has been drunk. Meanwhile, Fizz decides not to return home and instead asks Tim to drive her into town. Cassie later returns to find Tyrone lying helplessly on the floor, having fallen from his wheelchair. Shocked and guilt-ridden, she realizes Fizz lied about her whereabouts, and that the distance between them might be growing beyond repair. As the week ends, Asha's mental health continues to decline. After snapping at Dev, she isolates herself at home, curling up under a blanket and shutting out the world. Concerned, Dev confides in Bernie, admitting he's scared for his daughter. Bernie warns that Naomi's harsh attitude could push Asha over the edge if someone doesn't intervene soon. With tempers flaring, secrets unraveling, and relationships hanging by a thread, it's a week packed with heartbreak, confrontation, and unexpected twists on Coronation Street, and not everyone will make it out unscathed. Coronation Street airs on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.